Hello. Um, I'm feeling a call within to speak about resolving the sins of the father, and I don't necessarily mean that from like a religious standpoint. I intentionally didn't reread what all that's about. I don't feel like that's what I'm called to talk about, but just the theme of atoning for the sins of the father, the mother, just the generations that came before us. That's been coming up a lot for me the last few weeks. Family, um, the way they fuck us up, you know. Um, the desire to run from the reality that they are our first teachers, and we continued where they left off a long time ago when they were young and foolish as well. And you get to pick up where they left off from that tiny moment in time, from the moment you were born. They are gifts you receive. And it's not necessarily about blood. It may not be your parents that you receive it from, but those first teachers that we imprint on, that we like download the consciousness of, even though we don't realize it. We just by nature of having no other consciousnesses to glob onto, the moment one appears, we say, oh, that works. That's a nice start. And sometimes we go through our whole life without really recognizing that. Just knowing sometimes I act like my dad, sometimes I act like my mom. Just kind of notice it and laugh and be like, aw, shucks. But we're on a process of purification. Something I talked about in a video that still hasn't come out. I keep pushing it because I keep having other videos come to me that feel more prescient, but it'll be out eventually. Has been in that video I was talking about how we are one person throughout all history. Like at a grander scale, we are everything, yes? But if you want to tell the story of mankind, it is one being with a bunch of different faces that have different hobbies and different ways of being that populate into thinking that there's different sects of people, but it's all one person. The collective is who we are. We are man. And there is responsibility that needs to be taken for that. And it's so easy to point the finger and say, no, they're the bad guy. They did this wrong. So my anger is justified, but anger is never justified. And that might be hard to hear, and you may disagree with me. You're more than welcome to. I don't judge you for not believing this, but anger is never justified. It can always be undone when in the presence of love. There just needs to be the willingness to make that decision to let the love in. But those early teachers, those things that are rooted deep, it takes a lot of love. Maybe more love than you're really used to or think you can give. But it can be done. I mean, it does need to be done, whether by you, by your children, by your children's children, by your friends' children, whoever. Collectively, all this shit has to get dealt with one day or another. And it will. If we choose to accept the mission, we can be the ones that make the choice to go on that scary adventure of loving the parts of ourselves that we hate. That's scary. That's terrifying. Imagine loving someone you hate. It seems ill-advised. Everything you've been told in the world, full of separate bodies and separate entities, has told you to always look out for yourself. And that self, for all of your life, has been very isolated and singular. And so long as you believe that, sure, that is the natural belief to have. Why would you think otherwise? But there is another way. There's always a different way, a better way than whatever you came up with. It's always better because it's not just what you expected. You like to be surprised when it's good. You're just afraid of the bad surprises. You're afraid of something that might hurt you. If you let go of the idea that you can be hurt, you don't have that fear anymore. You only enjoy the good surprise. Allowing yourself to always receive the good surprise is a choice, an active choice that needs to be consciously made again and again. But it becomes easier and more natural and more easier to rely on. I've been going through a period of rebuilding a lot of friendships. And something that's interesting about that is, in my head, I kind of expected it to just be like, oh, we're right back to normal. But no, sometimes bridges have been burned and you got to start from scratch. You've got to rebuild your credibility. Like, I know I will always be there for these friends, but they don't know that. This is all starting fresh. But over time, as I prove to myself and to them that I will always be there for them, they will be more and more likely to trust me, to believe me when I say I will always be there to love them and allow them. It becomes easier. It becomes logical. It's not a matter of faith at a certain point. I mean, I guess it is, in the sense that you don't know what's going to come in the next experience of this moment. You can't ever know that for certain. But you can be pretty darn sure. You can be pretty darn sure, man. The sins of our father are all of our sins collectively. We are our fathers, we are our sons, we are the lineage that is humanity, that is Earth. The entire atmosphere, every single organism in it, all breathes together as one. Responsibility needs to be taken for all of it. It is all you. It is all me. It is all us. We, singular. It is an inevitability. It is an inevitability. Get that through your head. Like, it does not make sense to you, or else you would have no need for this video. I don't know what you need. I apologize, but The ending is sure. The ending is certain. Our role in it is up to us. And when you say yes, you will be given the world. Truly, you will be given the world. It was always promised. It was always yours, and it always will be. I love you. Peace.